Who are we?
Nobodies!
Speak for yourself.
Okay. We're Canadian filmmakers with the dream of surviving financially on the backs of our films.
Welcome to our show where we bring people along on our film journey.
Maybe we can learn a thing or two.
Maybe we can teach people a thing or two while drinking beers.
I mean, if you can't drink beers while filmmaking, what's the point?
We are Fable Forest Films, failing our way to success.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. I mean, our show. First frames first.
Hey, welcome to episode 40 of
Episode 40.
First Frames First. That's right. Some of us are not 40 years old yet.
None of us are.
Yeah, but some people that you have met are over 40.
I don't think that's true.
No, it's just a lie. Welcome to episode 40 of First Frames First. My name is Adrian Constant.
I'm Jason Green.
And this is a podcast where we kind of track our film journey as we attempt to make money on the backs of our movies.
I will say this is a very exciting week. This is a huge week. 2 days ago, our first crack at a television show, The Art of Eight Limbs, a Muay Thai documentary, was released on Bell Fibe TV1. So very exciting. We're getting the word out via our newsletter, which you can sign up for at right off our website, thefableforest.com or fableforestfilms.com. You can, anyways, very exciting, and you can watch it right now. So if you have Bell Fibe TV service. You're in Ontario, Quebec, Atlantic, Canada. You can go to Channel 1 and their streaming service and check us out. So we're really excited.
Yeah, totally. It was a huge step.
I'm looking forward to hearing, I don't know, over the next bunch of weeks, months.
How many streams?
How many people? It was a success. So this
is and we'll be pushing it as well on our own social media. We'll be once we get the creative from Bell, so that we know we're pushing the right thing, the right look. Then we'll probably be pushing it pretty hard.
For sure.
Go and watch this show.
So I will say I was thinking about it while I was driving the other day, and we do need to return to the socials. We do need to probably create 5 or 10 posts which are specifically for Greenhouse or specifically for Bickerman's Grove. They have a different picture, they have a different call to action, but always show either Google or Amazon or whatever. That way, maybe even if it's just once a week or something like that, we post each one of those.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
And that way, because even after The Art of Eight Limbs goes through its first month or two where we're hitting it a little bit more, you still kind of want to keep it in everybody's minds, because you're gonna find new followers all the time, right? Like our Twitter gets new followers all the time, so you wanna just keep promoting your stuff. And we don't do that too much right now. We more keep up with what's current, but we don't always go back and promote the stuff that we've already done.
Yeah.
But this is huge. I mean, having our show on TV where everyone can stream and access it is pretty cool. Yeah. So we will.
It's a really big deal.
On
for
Bell
us,
for the
it's
first,
a huge deal.
Oh, huge. Yeah. Hopefully we're gonna start pitching. We've already been talking about what's next as far as pitches go, and hopefully we'll be able to share with you guys pretty soon some of the other things that we're gonna pitch to Bell and see if we can have a round 2. Definitely Art of Eight Limbs season 2.
Definitely, we're gonna hope for that. Yeah,
100%.
So we'll pitch it. We'll see what they say. Maybe yes, maybe no. But it'll be good.
Anyways, very
exciting.
exciting.
What's happening, Jay?
Well, we are we're gonna try a triathlon.
Yes, we are. We're gonna do a try.
Explain to the people at home what a try is. First of all, what is a triathlon?
So a triathlon is it's a race, and you first swim, then you bike, then you run.
Right.
consecutively. That's the order, and you do it consecutively, one after each other. We're doing the smallest version of that, which is a 375-meter swim. It is a 10K bike ride and a 2.5K run. So today, I did my first sort of little training session.
Right.
And I felt really good. I was really slow.
Yeah.
I was
how
very sluggish.
How slow were you on your bike? How long did it take you to bike 10K?
Well, I mean, I went to my public pool to see if I could have a swim. So I biked 4Ks to the public pool. Yeah, I would say, I mean, I actually didn't time myself. I couldn't tell you really, to be honest. But it probably took me about 20 minutes to get to the public pool. The public pool was closed. So then it probably took me another 3Ks to the track. And that probably took me another 10 minutes, I would say. Yeah. Maybe a bit more than 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. And then I did six circuits of the track and then hopped on the bike and rode 4 or 5Ks home.
Cool. And how long did it take you to run?
I don't care about how long it takes me. I just want to finish.
Yeah, me too. I know how long it takes me, but I biked 10K in 35 minutes, and I ran 10K in an hour and 30 minutes.
You ran 10K?
Well, I wouldn't say I ran.
Yeah.
I jogged, and then I walked, and then I jogged, and I walked, and I jogged.
Okay.
So I did buy myself a Batman utility belt.
Boom, for little waters?
For for 2 waters.
I can't believe you're gonna have one of those little jogger belts.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
don't jog near me.
That's fine. My fanny pack, the front little part is full of ears, tongues. I mean.
Yeah.
And so it's gonna be gross.
Yeah. No, totally. And this has been a dream of mine for my whole life. In fact, one of the first sporting events I ever saw on television was a triathlon, and I was like, I love to swim and bike and run. I have to.
And none of these things cost money.
Yeah, and you know what? And it just never panned out. It never worked out. Like, I was never able to, like, be in the right space in terms of life.
Right.
And this was when I was 6 years old at this stage, so I needed my parents' help to do it. And we just couldn't, where we were, it just wasn't a feasible thing. So now, at the tender age of 35,
it is hilarious.
This is a lifelong dream.
You're like, we just weren't really in the right place, and I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
It's a pretty grown-up thing to be thinking when you're 6.
No, I wasn't thinking that when I was 6. Just looking back, I'm like, it would have been a very difficult thing to achieve. It wasn't sort of like in my parents' circle of influence to be able to make that happen. You know what I mean?
Right. So yeah, no, I'm excited mostly because my like fitness journey really started with trying to eat right and walking a lot. So walking, that increased to some jogging, and I'm gonna try this just for fun.
Cool.
And hopefully I finish and don't die. I'm really worried. When I was reading all the frequently asked questions and stuff, I am really worried about the swim part and having someone drown me. So
yeah,
I feel like I'm gonna go.
We'll probably
in the back.
we'll probably hang back at the swim section just because there's a lot of kicking and scratching, and because it's not on purpose. It's just like bodies on top of each other. So we just hang back and chill.
That's my plan.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. So that's September 1st. So next podcast we're gonna let you know. And
if it's just me, then Jay didn't make it.
It's very possible.
Listen, do not die.
That's my plan.
On this triathlon, because I'd feel responsible.
Sure. Well, you would be responsible.
You're a jerk.
Yeah. So what else is going on?
Well, we're gearing up for Shifted.
Yes.
We're coming back around on Shifted, and it's been a really long time. And if anybody that is a cast member or someone who's involved in the process, cast or crew, is listening to this, then thank you so much for your patience, because we just really had to knock Bell Fibe, this Out of 8 Limbs show. We had to knock it out the park, and we did.
Yeah.
That's how we feel at any rate, and that was the response that we've had from Bell. It felt really good.
Oh yeah.
Totally. I feel like we did what we intended to do, and they were very happy with the outcome. But we are coming back around on Shifted. And right now I'm working my way through the script, taking a look at the scenes that we still have to do, taking a look at everything that we need to in order to bring it all together. And we want to shoot all the final pieces that we need.
Yeah.
So that we are absolutely done with, unless we need to do some ADR or something unforeseen like that. But all the planned stuff, we really want to get it out of the way, finish the movie, get a picture wrap, and obviously, one of the things that we're working on right now, which is probably the biggest aspect of the movie, is creating these monsters.
Yes.
So there's a two-prong effect happening. There's a planning and prep, which is happening on my side, which I'm doing, and it's currently under work. And then there is the development of the monsters.
Yes. So
we have the images and the graphics for the monsters, but we're just working with a pair of prosthetics artists in order to get the monsters exactly where we want them. And so these are the two processes that we are working at right now.
Yeah, and the other thing that we're gonna start very soon, within the next week or so, is just getting back in touch with everyone. Totally. Right? Like Brian, who's one of the leads, is on holidays in Europe. Yeah. So it's going to be fine, but what we need to do is find out what everybody's schedule is for the next couple of months.
Totally.
Align everything perfectly again and get moving.
Now, it's a very Canadian thing, but summertime is super busy.
Yeah.
It's everybody chills at home during the winter and doesn't really do too much. They might have one little holiday here to go and catch some rays. But generally, summertime in Canada is all right, let's do this. Now we're going to be busy.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling we'll end up shooting just when summer's starting to calm down and things are starting to mellow out and people are starting to come back to they're starting to come back home, stay at home. And
I think one of the real benefits that we've had for Shifted so far is that we have had, and I know it's a slow process, but we have had somebody working on the edit already.
Yes.
The footage. So hopefully, or my hope with some updates and things like that is that as we're wrapping up, we're going to be a lot further along in the kickoff of the editing phase than we were at the end of Bickerman's or whatever, right?
Totally.
So we can move right from finishing shooting right into getting something.
Edit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the next stage. Now, something I'd like to mention, there's been a sort of a philosophy shift for us. And in the last little while, we have been chatting about, before this, we like to focus on a lot of different things. And part of our strategy was, Shifted is winding down, or we're moving towards the end of this, so we better start working on this next thing straight away. And so you end up with a lot of projects sort of up in the air. And I actually feel like you like that.
Well, there's a couple things. So one is that idea that, you have a lot of irons in the fire because you don't know what's going to go, right? The only reason I would say that I like it is because sometimes there's not something for me to do, right? So I don't mind working on something or prepping something when you're editing or whatever, right? But continue, because I know where you're going with this.
No, and so just essentially we were talking something that I would do is while I was editing Bickerman's Grove, I would be writing the next project.
Right.
I'd be hardcore. So I'd write when I could, and then I'd edit when I could, and then I had other things going on with video work and all that stuff, all that jazz. And one of the things that my father-in-law actually said to me is why don't you just finish Bickerman's Grove? And I said to him, my response was, but then what am I going to do after that? And I think we should move, and we have discussed this, into a sort of a state of mind where you are intensively focused on one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And you do that thing, you knock it out the park, and then you move on. So, yes, if something comes to mind that I really need to write, maybe I can just, write a paragraph or just keep it small and short and put it away and say, this is what I'm going to turn to when I have the time. But right now, I really need to edit this project and get this project out the door.
Right.
So that when you're writing, then you're also not splitting your writing up, right? You're writing in an intensive period of time and you are like finishing the script.
Right.
Because what ended up happening with Bickerman's, or while I was editing Bickerman's Grove, is I was writing other things, but those things didn't pan out.
Right.
Those are not the scripts we shot.
Right.
I wrote, I don't know how many scripts between Bickerman's Grove and the time that we ended up shooting Shifted. It made me like 5 scripts that I don't think are ever going to see the light of day. They could if they, the work comes in, but the way that I see us moving is that we tend to move on to the next thing. And I know you keep them in the drawer and you're like, one day I could come back to that. But the truth is,
you not.
You never really do, right?
Right.
If you blow by it, it loses that momentum and it sort of sinks a little bit. And new ideas are gonna come, right?
Yeah.
And
so you might as well when when we're finished, Shifted, then you're making the decision what is the next thing, and then you just plow fast for that.
That's right. And you work hard at that one thing, rather than never really really sinking your teeth into one thing at a time. You're like kind of floating. You're spread very thin, And I think the intensive focus is an important thing.
Yeah, and I think
we're going to try it anyway.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that also it depends on how big we are as a company and what kind of success there is, right? Because, like, as an example, if someone completely different was doing the full edit of whatever, then maybe it does make sense while they're plowing ahead really hard to be working on the next thing or whatever. But again, it's just that what we should be doing is everything in our power to complete a project once started.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I'm for sure.
And I will say I had a very interesting conversation with my neighbor. So he bought Bickerman's Grove and he watched it.
Yeah.
And his criticism was, it was straight as an arrow and pretty harsh. He was complimentary about some things, and about other things he
just hit you with a hammer.
He just came straight with down the middle, right between my eyes. He hit me. It was just today actually, and so he was like, because we just chatting, taking the garbage out, and he was like, oh, so how are things going? How are things with the movie and all that stuff?
Hold on. Hey, what's going on? Okay. Do you need something? Why do you need the heater? Come in and say hi.
Oh, it's Connor.
Welcome back, Connor. You remember Connor from last episode. Poke your head in over here. Connor's hard at work making our Dungeons and Dragons game.
Yes.
Mike Wirtz is in. Derek Lackenbauer is also in. Now we're looking for you, Zach Parsons.
Yeah, man.
See you later, buddy.
So anyway, his criticism was just, he said very interesting things. Now, he's not coming from an informed perspective, but he said it was good in its entirety, right? It was a full story, and the pacing was good, and he liked the way the camera was and the way it looked, and he said if we were in LA, we'd be probably making millions. That's what he said. But he said the place where we struggled is with some of the acting. He said, and now the thing is that the acting is my responsibility, and I don't think he realizes that. Everybody just, right? It's the director's responsibility to
you got to get the performance where you want.
So he doesn't understand that, but I mean that's what he thought. He was like he struggled, and he said I couldn't really get into it because the acting wasn't doing it for me. So that was his criticism, and he was like, can you do anything with that? I was like, totally, man. And I appreciate it, actually. And I said, that's one of the things that we're working at as hard as we can, is to make sure that our performances are spot on.
Yeah.
Now, you could have a professional, you could have the world's greatest actors, and it wouldn't resonate with someone, right?
Right.
They'd be like, this is bullshit. I don't like this guy. I don't like his face. I don't like his haircut. Whatever it is. So But that said, we can definitely work on our performances. Absolutely.
Can I tell you about a movie that I just watched?
Totally.
It was called Titan, or The Titan. It's a Netflix original.
Yes. About the guys that get prepped for the moon?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
You watched it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you about this. I mentioned this to you.
Oh,
It's like,
I just happened to see it today.
Yeah.
And I watched it with my dad. So I'm going to say,
tell me what you thought.
after watching the whole thing,
Yeah.
I thought it was stupid.
Yeah. Okay.
However, I'll say a couple things. First of all, I loved the cast. Okay.
Yeah.
The guy from Avatar or Mindhunter or whatever, the girl from Orange Is the New Black, Pepper. The main baddie, that guy's amazing. I love that guy.
Yeah.
The guy that runs the whole facility or whatever.
Totally.
I can't remember what he's been in, but he's amazing. So a couple things that drove me a little bananas.
Now, just before you get going,
Yeah.
I will say, because it was a while ago that I watched it, there were things, if I remember, that we thought were dumb. Like, would a person actually do that? That kind of thing, right?
So what I'll give a quick.
I can't remember
I'll give a
them,
quick
though.
synopsis of the movie, but you should. I can't recommend this movie.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna
Carry
spoil
on.
it here. So get
Do it.
ready. So this is The Titan, I think, on Netflix. So essentially, the movie is about the world is doomed. We kind of we can see 50 years into the future, kind of an idea, or we think we know what's going to happen to the world 50 years from now, et cetera, et cetera. So it's time to start preparing to leave Earth and go to Titan, one of Saturn's moons. But in order to do that, we gotta be able to breathe less oxygen, get stronger because of the gravity, this and that and
Less
this.
sunlight, be able to
Less
take the
sunlight,
cold.
all this kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
what we're doing is we're picking like the best of the best of the best army dudes. We're bringing them to a facility where they're gonna train their bodies and they're gonna get ready to go to Titan. So
And they're
that was cool.
they're gonna undergo like physical changes
Absolutely.
and like
well, they don't know that.
mutant type things.
Well, they don't
right?
know that though.
Yeah.
Right. So what they're told originally is, you're gonna come here, train, you're gonna become a superhuman, the best human that you can be, and we're gonna give you steroids and all these kinds of things.
Yeah.
So that's all cool, and the premise was cool, right? And
Yeah.
the beginning,
Totally.
I will say the first 70% of the movie was cool,
Yeah.
except for a few things. Number one, this type of movie felt very like it was like a cookie cutter from like Apollo 13. You know what I mean? It's like, if there's a mission, then here's what you're gonna have. We're gonna keep telling you guys that you're heroes and that you're gonna be the savior of humanity. We're definitely gonna have a scene where a bunch of families get together because it's gonna be like their last night before they go on a mission or something. They're probably gonna drink too much and they're probably gonna look up into the stars and they're probably gonna, try to have some romantic moments.
Yeah.
And there's going to be two wives that talk about the fact that their husbands are being heroes, but it's hard being their wives and stuff. And so there was a lot of, probably in the first 20 minutes, where I was like, just get moving with this movie, right? Like, make things start to happen.
So
it started slow.
Yeah. So the inciting incident,
Yeah.
where the point of no return.
Well, the movie starts really cool, where they're kind of explaining what needs to be done.
Yeah.
So you're like, this is awesome. Then it takes like another 15-20 minutes to even start having anything happen, like before the training starts, and it was really slow, in my opinion.
Totally.
Then, spoiler alerts, they start injecting them with like animal DNA, and things start to happen, and that was pretty cool. Like, one guy goes crazy and like throws his wife through a glass window and kills her, and they got to put him down because he turns into a huge hulking bat or something like that. But things you don't really see, they still kind of look humanoid, sort of.
Yeah.
But then finally they get to the kind of the end, sort of, and they got to go through their final transformation. They turn into these kind of blue, tall, hulking guys. And there's only two of them that succeed in this program. And a man and a woman.
And a woman.
Yeah. And so, to me, right from this point, the movie lost all credibility. like in my mind, because like the first thing that happened was the guy was like, well, they communicate through some sort of weird screeching that we can't understand or we can't hear or something like that. So now, once he becomes this blue guy, he's like, he can never communicate with his wife anymore. And the weird thing is he becomes, if you watch it again, because now you're going to go back and look at it, but he becomes kind of the quintessential alien that we see a lot of times, where he's like, oh, like, I don't understand what things are anymore. I'm like, you're still a guy. Like, you're still the same guy. You've just been mutated. But he does this thing where he's like, how does this thing work or whatever, right? And I'm like, you're still you. And like, they're like, well, gosh, we don't know how to communicate with these guys. Now, again, you're sending these guys to Titan to, I assume, terraform the planet or start prepping for civilization or something. And you're spending $1 trillion or whatever the fuck, and you don't have some sort of way to like communicate, like a pencil or a computer. Like, how are you feeling? Totally. I'm feeling pretty good. Things are good. You know, like, she can speak to him, but they can't speak back. I mean, so the rest of the movie becomes like a kerfuffle of like freakouts and gunfire and all this kind of stuff. And you're like, well, why can't you just talk to them with a computer or something, right? Like, that was a major problem.
Yeah,
Major problem.
I didn't think about that. Like, did spend, my wife and I did spend a large portion of the movie going, why didn't they just do that? That kind of thing. You know?
Yeah.
Why didn't they just do that?
Yeah.
I
get it. And then the final, anyways, the guy kind of escapes, and then they're gonna kill him or whatever, and he's trapped. They got the husband trapped in a box. He's the big blue guy, and they tell the wife, like, you got to lobotomize your husband. You got to give him this chemical thing that's gonna make him lose all of his memory and forget his family and all this kind of stuff. And she goes in and she jabs him with a saline solution or something so that, of course, he won't forget. But again, even that, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
He's going anyway. I remember that part.
But here's the point.
Why do you have to do that?
Here you've got a specialized Army Ranger dude with tons of years of experience and all this kind of stuff. You're choosing him to go and do this terraforming mission for a reason.
He said yes.
You're going to give him a chemical thing to wipe out his brain? So you want him to just be like a monkey over there? And by the way, now that they killed the female thing, it's not even like the two of them are gonna go there and like make babies. They're gonna send them.
They killed the female thing?
Yeah, they shot her to death.
Oh,
at the pool, right? When she starts killing the guy or whatever. So like, they're sending one creature to do what? And at the end, he like stands naked on a mountain. And he's like, oh, and then he flies away, and you're like, what the fuck
is he gonna do there?
Nothing. So anyways, the movie was cool at first. It was a cool concept. But then they just went in a really weird way that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And it is a shame because the movie was cool.
Good concept.
I thought it was great.
Do you know what? Like, when you mentioned the movie... Yeah, sorry. Just finish it. Yeah.
No, just to finish... Somebody's got to start...
telling people when it's not working.
Somebody's got to start making sure things make sense.
Mm-hmm. Somebody has to read the script. Be like, this is stupid.
Either that or that's not the way the script was. You know what I mean? But somebody's got to start being in control of, like, going, what makes sense? Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Like, maybe it has to happen with our movies too. I'm sure it does. But, like... I don't know. It's very frustrating. Because the cast was great. Yeah. The concept was great. The makeup was cool. Like, all the stuff was great.
When you initially chatted to the movie, do you know where that movie landed in my memory? And the reason that I thought it was cool was because in my memory, and this is maybe me wanting the movie to be like this, but it was a retelling of the Adam and Eve story, right? I forgot that they killed the woman. Because I thought it was going to be because it was going to be an Adam and Eve. And what happens when you do that is that all of a sudden you're like, well, what about Earth? Is that what happened on Earth? And so that's the question that comes into your mind, right? Was the first Adam and Eve sent here because blah, 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 blah. And I thought that was really cool. And obviously when they killed the woman, that was destroyed in my mind. And
it was not retained.
yeah, that part wasn't retained. I was like, oh yeah, the Adam and Eve story about,
Yeah.
the allegory for Adam and Eve, why and how they came to exist on Earth, and
Yeah.
now we're doing it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Obviously not.
Anyways, I can't recommend it.
dumb.
I'm sorry. But
now I will say that I see a lot of films where they start and you can tell that they're cookie cutter, and I actually just switch them off.
yeah.
Like, you really can see what they're trying to do and what they're trying to achieve, and they will get a certain audience. But I don't follow through because I know what the scene is.
Yeah.
Like, I know what the intention of the scene is. I know exactly what they're trying to achieve. I don't need to watch the scene because I've seen it 100 times. And you know what? I've probably seen a better version of it. Because the best versions are probably in those initial versions that happened in the, I don't know, whenever they were shot, right? So
good.
I think you're right. I think that they probably need
Either that or they're running out of
a
money.
person. No, they're not running out of money. But
No, I just mean like, no, you're right.
the movies. The movies running out of money, or like.
Yeah, and they needed to like throw a scene in.
I don't know, when you got millions of dollars and you got so many people reading the script, surely somebody has questions and then somebody has the balls to be like, oh yeah, we really have to change that.
Right.
Now here's a question I have for you. When you're on Netflix and you see the Netflix logo on the show, so you know it's from Netflix.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
I like it.
You're like, what do you think?
When I see it, I do try to watch Netflix originals. I find that so far I think I've had more success with a TV show than a movie. I like it. I don't think it stands for a certain amount of quality or anything like that. Like, I don't think it's, if the Netflix stamp is on it, it's going to be good, necessarily. And case in point for the Titan. Now, again, it makes me sad because I love all the actors.
Totally.
And the story was pretty cool, to be honest.
It's a great concept.
Yeah, it just didn't. The ending just made me upset. I was just like, oh man. But anyways, the Netflix thing, I do like to see it because it's like they're putting their money, they want to make money.
Yeah.
Right. But here's this huge company. Like, imagine if Blockbuster, right? When Blockbuster was as huge as Blockbuster was back in the day, and they were like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make people's dreams come true. And we're going to start taking some of that sweet-ass Blockbuster money, and we're going to give it to indie filmmakers so they can make a movie and put it on VHS and put it in our stores. That's like good. That is exactly what that is. And it
so
is
that's
cool.
why you love it, because
I do love it.
Because of the concept, because of what
they are taking
what
their
it implies, money rather than the quality of what you're watching.
Yeah, now the quality is fine, right? I mean, the quality of anything that's on Netflix is great. The quality of the Titan movie is excellent. Like, the quality.
Yeah,
maybe not.
I don't think you can separate quality and story. I think everything is shot perfectly.
Yeah,
like everything's shot and to look amazing.
Yes.
But you can't separate quality and story. Like those, are, when you're the viewer, those two are like
for sure.
They're entwined.
So, but I will say it makes me very happy, and there's lots of other companies too, but it makes me very happy that Netflix is taking their billions and then recreating stuff.
Yeah.
And because you know what, content is great, and like you're putting so many people to work. You're allowing some people to live their dreams and put their content out. Totally. And I'm excited about it. I mean, I'm not sure. I worry maybe that eventually the only stuff that's on Netflix is Netflix. Created content.
I think there's enough content that it won't be all Netflix, but like certainly when Disney starts their own streaming channel and pulls everything from Disney and everything from Fox and everything that from Marvel that they own,
right?
Then it will be a different story.
Will be a little shrinkier.
A little shrinkier. Yeah. And when everybody starts their own streaming networks and they own content and they pull it off Netflix, that's why Netflix is busting their ass to get as much content out as they can, so that when it does drop,
the streaming wars.
Yeah, the streaming wars begin.
Amazing.
Now I will say with me, if I see Netflix on the thing, I'm like 50-50. You know what I mean? Like, some of the stuff is really great, I think some of the stuff is top notch, but then some of the stuff blows chunks. And I'm really hesitant with Netflix because I know that some of it is sucky. And so, and I like what you're saying in terms of the concept behind it. I actually agree with you. You've actually turned me on to Netflix because of that. Before this, I would be like, is there something else?
I didn't like Bright, the Will Smith movie.
Man, that's another one.
I hated
was so full of holes. Like the concept and the idea was great, but it was
poorly executed.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Like at the end, when he needs to like reach for the wand in order to save this mysterious person that he honestly doesn't care about. So he basically puts his life in danger for someone who he doesn't care. And he doesn't understand the odds. And he has a family. And you're like, he would never do that.
No.
He would never grab the wand. It had to be life or death.
There's a lot more in that movie than just that. But yeah.
Oh, totally.
And the thing is, and again, cool concept. Really well done. Like the monsters and all the things. Like it looks amazing.
Yeah.
But it's the story.
Yeah,
the story was brutal. So, I don't know. But, I don't know.
They just rip it to shreds, man. And like, you gotta take a breath. You gotta
Will Smith should know better. I'm just saying, shame on him.
Yeah, because he if he reads a script, he's got to be like, this is dumb.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Will Smith...
Do you think he even reads the scripts?
He's got to.
Man...
I don't know.
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know. Because Will Smith is crazy talented.
How does all of those fuck-ups make it through all those readings? Like, there's all these industry professionals who are reading the script. How does all of that make it through? Like, how do those kinds of loopholes?
Maybe there's not as many meetings where script reading is being done as you think.
Like, one producer says this is a go.
I don't know.
I don't know. And then it goes. And
I don't know. But anyways.
People think it's going to change. Like, there's going to be another rewrite. You know, like Will Smith signs on like...
He's like, well,
4 years ago.
It's going to be fine.
It's going to be rewritten, obviously.
Yeah. And then they go and they put pieces of the movie together. And then they shoot pieces that you're not aware of. And then they slap the whole thing together. And you're like... And the other problem, too, is it comes together in the edit also. Right?
Totally.
So you don't know the problems that they had on set where they couldn't get something or they missed something or something happened and boom, and they can't go back for reshoots because Will Smith's making some other huge movie or something. And
the one thing
it's hard to say
when you're making a movie, you gotta say, would the person do this? That is the thing you have to do. Like it has to. Their actions need to be justified to the audience. They can't be like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna climb this building over here and for no reason, just because I wanted some. You know what I mean? Like, and you're like, they would never do that because they. You got to believe that that's what they would do. And if you believe them, then you're with them.
Yeah.
And if you're with them, then you care.
Did you watch Bushwick?
No, that's an old comedy, isn't it?
No, it's new. It's with Dave Bautista. It's on Netflix.
No.
It's really good. It's interesting. It's like a oneer, the whole movie.
Oh. But it's not. But it's like a oneer.
It's like a oneer, kind of like Birdman.
Ooh,
I mean, they
intriguing.
Yeah, and it's an action movie.
Bushwick.
Yeah, check it out.
Cool. I'm gonna.
You're right. It's got those moments where you're like, really, but it's pretty good.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a good indie movie.
Okay.
It's for sure. And the fact that they got him, I don't know, he maybe he was executive producer or something, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Dave Bautista.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That is it for us for this week, or this bi-weekly podcast that we have here.
Bi-weekly.
We were saying earlier that someone that Adrian knows has started a podcast after we did.
Like 6 months after we did.
Right. And but he does his weekly, so of course he's
blown
bypassed us with podcast numbers. But you know what? We're gonna keep doing it bi-weekly for now until such time that we have lots of free time.
Until the apocalypse.
There you go. Okay, guys, dream big,
work hard.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.
First frames first.
Yes, first frames first. Thank you, Jason.
Welcome.
If you enjoyed, head over to our website, www.thefableforest.com. Check out our films and sign up for our newsletter where we will send you exclusive content.
Hit us up on our socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, always at The Fable Forest. And share our show with your friends. It'll really help us out a lot.
Dream big.
Work hard.